Be appalled, O heavens, at this. Be shocked. Be utterly desolate, says the Lord. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living water, and dug out cisterns for themselves, cracked cisterns that can hold no water. Jeremiah 2:12 and 13. Okay, so I went ahead and put the tank back in. So what I did was I installed the rear strap right there. So I installed that first, and I went ahead and cleaned that bolt up with a wire wheel and put never sees on it so that hopefully it'll be easier to get out next time. And so I installed that first before I put the tank in, and then I swung it out of the way, and then I rolled the tank in on the just slid it in actually, and then tilted it up, and then lifted it up with the jack, so then I could install these bolts over here, this one and that one, and you can see that one back there. It's a new bolt that I had to buy because I had to cut the head off of the other one to get it out. What I'm finding with these connections here is that if I put a piece of this packing tape on the end here where it's still smooth to protect that surface, and then if I take a piece of sandpaper and just the width here, so I'm using pretty fine grit, like 220 for the first pass, and then like a 600 for the final pass. And if I do that, and I'm going to do that both on the back side here and on the front side, because this back side, you know, makes it easier for the clip to collapse on the pipe. So there you can see I have that shiny piece of tape right here, and then I'm going to take this little strip like that, which is just about the width of the rough, rusty part there, and I'm going to wrap that around just like that and work it back and forth to clean that up. Okay, so I put a little grease on the end of those metal tubes, and that helped the plastic fittings to slide on there more easily. So all those are hopefully sealed. I have reconnected the electrical connector, and I have installed the fill pipe, and I've got to tighten up that and then secure the shroud inside the opening for the fill pipe. Okay, now we're going to put the plastic piece in here. Alright, so when I filled up the gas tank with gas, I found that I had a leak here, and you can see that it's come back to here. Initially, when the tank had more gas in it, it was dripping. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this filler neck with a new one, so that hopefully that will take care of it. So I'm going to put a pan under here, and I'm going to take this clamp loose, and I'm going to take that bolt up there loose that holds the filler neck in place, and then I'm going to work the filler. Well, I'm also going to take the filler neck loose from up on top, so we'll go through that. So that is a 13 millimeter bolt up there, and the clamp is an 8 millimeter, and up on top these are all T15 Torx screws. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and on the other side there's a fourth one, and so those come out, and then that will free up the top. Okay, so I got this filler neck to quit leaking, even though my hose is a little short with the new one. So, but I'm still getting the gas smell, and so I got to looking, and yeah, on the
So this is a steel tank, and it's got a plastic cover on the bottom of it, and you have these little indents here that they're open on that side over there. And so these are dry, but there's two more. Actually, there's 6 of them total, and these front 4 are dry, but the back 2 are dripping. So I'm going to go ahead and take this tank down again, but I suspect I may have to replace it because I don't see why, if the gas was leaking from the sending unit up on the top, which is right over this, I don't see why I wouldn't see stuff coming out here. So kind of leads me to suspect that maybe I got some rust in the back and it's just leaking through there. And so, in which case the only thing to do is to replace the tank, which is a couple $100 more, and it would have been a lot easier if I had done that while I had it out. But I thought, well, maybe I can get by with this one. And you know, those are the gambles that you take, and sometimes you lose.
So sure enough, there was no leaks from the sending unit, so it was definitely a bad tank. So ta-da, I ordered a new tank, and actually it was only about 130 or so. Not terrible, but it did involve taking the thing out again. So we're going to put this new one in now. Okay, so here's the new tank, and I transferred the sending unit to it. Came with a new snap ring, so that's in place. I went ahead and transferred these. I assume those are to keep it from making noise when you're driving down the road from rubbing the tank, so I transferred those over. I'm going to reuse this protective plate and installed a new hose there, and so now we're ready to put it back in.
Anyway, this is the new tank, and I figured out that I could reuse the plastic shield on the bottom, and it just, you know, kind of butts right up against this flange here. And so on the old one I just stuck a screwdriver in like the corner here and just pried it down, and it came right off, and so it just is held on there by the straps. And so you can reuse that, and it doesn't quite fit right if you don't have it have that on there. So anyway, that's something else I learned. And so now, so far so good. Engine runs, and I trimmed that new hose that I had to be closer to that flange there. So it looks like I am good to go.